Here's how to upload YouTube videos quickly and easily. I'm going to be showing you the strategies that I use when helping YouTubers with over 1 million subscribers to maximize their views and the sales for their business. All the timestamps are down below, and you can also access the free uploading checklist in the description. This is a free lesson from my course, the YouTube Business Accelerator, and you can access the full course down below, or you can apply for me and my team to take care of this for you, along with these other done-for-you services. Again, this is on that checklist that I provided you in the beginning. So we're going to take it one thing at a time. I'll keep returning to this checklist so that you can see as I go through each of these, but it all starts with uploading your video file to YouTube. And so when you're on YouTube, when you're logged into your account, there is this plus icon here on top of a little camera. And if you click on that, then you can either drag and drop your video file, or you can select the file that you want to upload from your computer. So in the last lesson, after you edited your video, even if you're someone who doesn't edit, you should have a file. If you did edit it, then you could just simply download it off of the software. If you don't know how to do that, then I do recommend looking up a tutorial. So for example, how to download a video file on DaVinci, and you should be able to get that video file. And once you're on this page, again, you can simply drag and drop, or you can select the file. Here, I'm just going to drag and drop from my computer. And as you will see, right now, the video is uploading. So the next step is to add in your title and your thumbnail. If you remember in the lesson where we talked about planning out your videos, so coming up with different video ideas, it is good in the beginning to research the topic's performance on YouTube, and in the beginning to plan and create your thumbnail and your video's title. So you should already have that. And if you don't, well, in the future, I do recommend that you always have your title and your thumbnail first, so that as you're going through the process of scripting, filming, editing, you are creating a video that's revolving around that. But once you have your title, what I like to do is I like to use TubeBuddy. And what you could do, let's say this is the video that I already uploaded, but let's say that you have a title that you want to use for your video. You can even just download the free version of TubeBuddy. You can go to tubebuddy.com and just simply download it. It is a Chrome extension. So when you're on your browser, use Chrome, and it should appear towards the top here. And there is this keyword explorer tool, and you just want to double check your title just to make sure that it does get a good score. And as you'll see, this is the title that I want to use for this video. And you always want to post something in this green area, because what TubeBuddy does is it analyzes the search volume and also the competition and the optimization strength. And so generally speaking, you want all these arrows to be in the green area if you can. But overall, as long as it adds up to a score in the green area, you'll be okay. So if this arrow's in the green area, it means that there's high search volume. So for this one, there is search volume for this topic. And the competition, if it's in the green area, that tells you that there's not a lot of competition. So generally speaking, you do want to create a video with high search volume and low competition. Again, low competition means it's in the green area here. And then optimization strength, and also you could just hover over this little question mark right here. So this number represents how well optimized the top ranking videos are for this search phrase. So this means that a lot of videos that were posted on this topic were not well optimized SEO wise. And so just by doing what I'm telling you and optimizing your title, and we're about to talk about the description, well, you can actually outperform those videos. And so if there is a topic that you really want to make a video about, I don't discourage you from creating it if it's in that really low area, but just remember to do your market research on it. Make sure it is something that your audience is interested in. And if it's not, well, then you can reframe the title and the thumbnail so that you can still incorporate those ideas that you want to talk about. And so if you look at here, this one is getting a good score, so I can just simply copy and paste the title in. Before this, I also created a thumbnail, so I can just upload that. So if you remember in module 1, we talked about branding. So we talked about having a thumbnail with your specific fonts, your specific colors. So feel free to revisit that and just ensure that your branding is staying in alignment with what we talked about in the beginning. But yeah, once we have that, so we uploaded it, we added in the title and the thumbnail, we checked it on TubeBuddy. The next step is writing an SEO-friendly description. So YouTube has evolved a lot, and if it ever does again, I'm going to re-upload this lesson. So this one is the most up-to-date. But what used to matter before is tags down here, and we're going to talk about tags, but it's evolved over time, and I still add in tags even though they don't help as much because it can't hurt. But the main thing that does matter is your title and your description, SEO wise. So search engine optimization wise, if you don't know what that stands for. And so I actually created a template for you for the description, and you all have that checklist. There is a link down below if you haven't grabbed that yet, but if you just click on here, right here where it says here, then it will take you to this right here. And so this is a fill in the blank template that you can use, and you can copy and paste this in your description. So I always keep this first part in my description because this tells me to use ChatGPT to write the first part of my description. And so as I'm filming this, what YouTube does is it scans those first 200 characters of your description. And so you want it to have search-based keywords. I also tell ChatGPT to write it in the first person because by default, it'll say we and our, and unless you're doing your YouTube with another person, then it doesn't make sense to use we, our. It's better to say, in this video, I talk about, this is my experience. And then in this prompt, you can insert the title. And I also tell it to keep it within 4 to 8 sentences and make sure the first line is attention grabbing. So before I show you the ChatGPT demonstration, what you can do is go through this template and you can simply add in your assets. And if you don't have these yet, so if you don't know what you're offering for your freebie or for your low ticket or high ticket, don't worry, we're going to talk about that in the next lesson, but you can still, in the meantime, add this into YouTube, because if you go to your YouTube studio, if you click on settings and then upload defaults, you can actually choose what the default is. And so if you saw when I uploaded this video, you'll see that this showed by default. And so now this will always be here so that I can just simply not have to search for all these links. Okay. And what I could do now that I have my description, now that the template is in, now for this video, I can cater it to this. So let me show you, for example. So this ChatGPT prompt, you could simply just copy it. And if you go over to ChatGPT, let me zoom in for you. If you go to ChatGPT, you can simply paste that. And then coming over here, you can copy and paste the title, insert that right here, and then just hit enter. And then it should write you a really nice description. And so what I like to do is I'll go through this. I will adjust it if necessary. I'll make any tweaks, or I'll make it more specific to the video. But you can even add more details into that prompt. If you say, mention how I shared this example or this insight, then it'll make this description more specific. But just looking at this, there are keywords in here for this video topic, and a lot of them are search-based. So overall, this is a pretty good description, and you could just simply copy that, come back here, and always delete this. Don't put ChatGPT prompt because your audience will be like, what the heck is that? But you can see I just put that in there. And then something that I like to do here, I have my freebie resources, but let's say in this video let's say hypothetically, I didn't talk about my Kajabi affiliate link. I would just delete that, because I talked about before how the less links you have, the better. Because if you have 10 different links, it's actually counterproductive, because when people look at it, they're going to be overwhelmed. And when they're overwhelmed and they don't know what to click on, they end up clicking nothing. This is one of those things where you are going to get a lot of mixed advice. Some YouTubers say oh yeah, have, 20 different affiliate links, blah, blah, blah. And it can happen to where you share that and people do, actually click on those affiliate links and buy something and you earn revenue. However, just from a psychological standpoint, the more links there are, the more overwhelmed people get and the less likely they are to click on something. There have been split tests where even on websites where there's a bunch of buttons, it's been shown that less of the buttons get clicked on unless they condense it down and they make it clear and specific. So it's good to have your links here, but it's also good to have like a little description of what the link is for. So coming back to here, here I put low ticket offer call to action. And so you'll see in my example, I have beginner course from clarity to cash. So that's like a descriptor. And then I have the link down below. I have my high level mentorship. So it's very clear and obvious what each of these offers entail. And then, so what you could do is you can adjust this to your offerings. You can always come back to this if you don't know what it is. Again, we're just setting ourselves up for success so that once you have offers, you're ready to rock and roll. So don't feel like you're left behind if you don't have these clarified quite yet. I also recommend having your business email. I've had a lot of potential clients just reach out to me via email first because they just had a few questions and they didn't feel comfortable asking it in the YouTube comments, which is fine. And so you want to have your business email. You also want to have optional timestamps. So if you don't know, I'll show you how to manually add in timestamps. Timestamps is when I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube where they divide the video up into different chapters just so that it's easy to find what section you talk about what. And so I can give you an example. Hold on. Okay, so this video I made is 30 minutes and it's a free mini course, and you'll see that if you hover over this play bar here, then you'll know what each section is about. And so the way that you add that into the description is you always want to start with 0:00. If you don't have this, then the chapters aren't going to work. And then you want to add in the timestamp for when a new chapter begins. So for example, at 20 seconds in, I started talking about crafting an irresistible offer. At 4 minutes and 6 seconds in, I started talking about designing high converting landing pages. So this will require you to actually watch your video and to take note of the time and also giving it a name. But once you have this text in there, then it'll show in the video. So I do recommend having the timestamps here towards the bottom, and then you can add in an optional 3 hashtags. So there is a difference between tags and hashtags. Hashtags are they have like the little hashtag symbol, and they're like hashtag content creation, hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag online business. Usually they are 1 or 2 words, and the 2 words are usually attached to each other. And so this is a different category than other tags that you see, because if I just go to YouTube and I type in hypothetically hashtag dogs, I can actually look underneath that hashtag and see all the videos that are under hashtag dogs. However, real tags, they're more so like phrases in different keywords, and they don't need to be like underneath the hashtag symbol. So for example, like if I type in like how to train my dog, then I can have tags with that phrase. So if you scroll down, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but if you scroll down, you can add in like different phrases. And so if you don't know what phrases to add, if you go back to TubeBuddy, so if I come here, if you type in the title of your video, so in my case, it's this right here. If you type that in, where'd it go? If you go to your keyword explorer and you type in your title, what you can do is underneath comment tags, it will tell you like all the top tags for that title. And what you could do is you can choose to tag limit, because in the tag box, there is a limit of 500 characters. And so by clicking on that, you can get the maximum, and simply from there, you can copy the clipboard. But before I do that, I actually go through it and I uncheck the ones that are irrelevant. So for example, here we have Sean Cannell, but I don't talk about Sean Cannell in this video, so I could uncheck it. There is a strategy where you could add other YouTubers in your niche, and they say that the tags can help you to get recommended after their video. However, that's more of an older strategy. Again, tags don't matter as much as they used to, so you could have it in there. But again, this really isn't a make or break thing. I would just choose to tag limit, uncheck the ones that aren't relevant. And once you have that, you could just simply paste it into this tag section right here. Okay. So now what we did is we wrote an SEO friendly description. I did jump ahead a bit to talking about tags. So that's done. These don't have to be done in the exact order, by the way. Some of these can be done in a different order, as long as they're done. So the next one is to add your video to its relevant playlist. So if you remember when we were talking about our niche in module 1, I told you about the content pillars. The content pillars, they can be represented by your different playlists. And so I do encourage you, if you haven't already, to create those playlists. And once you have them, you can just simply select which playlist you know that it's relevant to. So you just want to get in the habit of doing this so that when people come across your channel, then if they are interested in a particular content pillar, then it's just really easy to find that category. And so for this one, I talk about, this is really like, I talk a lot about mindset in this one, and that's one of my bigger content pillars, is just having like a strong entrepreneurial and YouTuber mindset. Some of these, by the way, I know this looks like a lot, but some of these are like private playlists of mine, like books I read. But this one I would put under unshakable money mindset. So I would add it there. Unless you are making content exclusively for children, you want to choose no, it's not made for kids. This one is big. Even if you're not talking about anything like inappropriate or bad, it will show your video to a much smaller audience of children if you put, yes, it is made for kids. And YouTube is very strict about the content that it makes for children. So again, unless your audience is only exclusively children, then I would always choose no. Okay. Also, this is a newer feature here. You can also restrict your video to only an adult audience. And again, this is newer, but the default is no. So you could just keep it here unless like there is something in your content that, you know, people like under 18 shouldn't listen to. Paid promotion. So if you have a call to action in your video to one of your paid products or services, then you do want to choose that this contains a paid promotion. So this does involve things like brand sponsorships, but also if you are, if you have something that is your own product or service. So you can read more. YouTube is always updating this. I've checked this in the past like 2 months, and they like made 3 different changes to their policies. So I would recommend clicking this learn more, because maybe you're watching this like a week from now and there's been like an update. But I'll do my best to stay on top of this and to update to this lesson if that ever happens. This is a newer option. So the question is, do any of the following describe your content? Makes a real person appear to say or do something they didn't say or do, alters footage of a real event or place, generates a realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur. So most of you should be clicking no for this. If that's not the case, then just choose yes there, because they do have specific policies about just putting out altered content. And again, you can read more about that here. It's better to read the most up-to-date articles. I always uncheck this. YouTube has some artificial intelligence that sometimes puts in automatic chapters. It's never done it for me. I usually uncheck this anyway, but I just think it's better to uncheck this. I also uncheck this as well. So sometimes, like, if YouTube recognizes that you're in a certain place, like, oh, Paris, they'll put the location of Paris, but I just always uncheck that. It's not needed. And then I always uncheck this. This is an experiment, so who knows how long this is going to last, but this helps viewers learn more about unfamiliar terms without leaving the video. Concepts mentioned in your video may automatically appear in the description. So yeah, I just uncheck that because I don't want YouTube to add something to my description that I'm not aware about. We've already talked about tags, so we're good there. If you're talking in a different language, then of course you can add that on here. I have one client and he posts half his videos in English and the other half in Spanish, so it's always just good to tell the algorithm which one it is. I always just leave this at none. Another thing as well, just keep this one at standard YouTube license, but this one down here, I always uncheck allow embedding. This is just where you can allow people to embed the video on a web page, so that when they click on it, the video automatically plays on the website. I uncheck this because this just increases spam attempts. And I had a friend where her friend put put her YouTube video on a website, and then YouTube said like, oh, like this is getting irrelevant traffic. So I just always uncheck this just to be safe, for all my videos. I just don't want anyone to try to send bots to my channel, and having embedding can just make it easier for them to do that. So that's something that I did research on a little while back, and it's just safer to protect your channel without embedding. I keep this checked. So unless you are starting a channel where you're completely pivoting your niche, then you can uncheck this. So you can actually you can uncheck this option, and what it'll do is it won't show your video to your current audience. It'll actually show it to a whole new audience. And so I had a client once using an old YouTube channel. They insisted that they wanted to use this old one because it had a few thousand subscribers and they wanted to start in a new niche. And I told her to, uncheck this so that the video could be shown to a new audience, because the old audience wasn't going to be interested in it. This one is up to you. So this one is whether or not you want to let others create shorts using content from your videos. I always just allow it because, it's free publicity, free marketing, even if it's like, even if it's something like rude or something, there should be an option where you report it or have them take it down. But for now, you could just keep it like this. Category. So this one, a good one is just entertainment. I don't know why this is usually set to entertainment, but this one was people and blogs. So a good one is just entertainment. Education is only if you're teaching like a specific like concept or exam. I had a few clients teach a specific exam, and so they chose this. And you could see here that this is a little bit more like, like professional education, if you will. Like if you're teaching like a specific grade level, or if you're teaching, again, a specific exam, then that's what education really falls under. I know a lot of you are in the education space. However, this is more academic, if you will. And again, I've had clients teach like the ACT or the SAT or the GED. And if that's the case, then you do want to choose education. I keep comments on. I've seen people turn them off, but having them on can lead to engagement. And a lot of clients engage with me in the comments first before they actually went to buy something. This one is optional, show how many people liked the video. I always just keep that checked because why not? Once that's all done, we can move on to video elements. And so here you can choose to add an end screen. This is just where at the end of the video, YouTube recommends another video to your audience. I do recommend just directing people to one video. You can add up to 3, but I find, again, that that's overwhelming and counterproductive, because if there's too many options, people end up not clicking any. And a good practice is just to get into the habit of saying at the end of your videos, if you like this video, check out this next one where I talk about X, Y, and Z, something really relevant so that people can go on that binge session. You can also add different cards. And so this is where, like, let's say in your video, you mention another one of your other videos and you point up here, then you can actually choose one of your past videos and you can have it display. Like you see here, like, here, let me show you. It's not showing the video, but you see here how I'm talking, and you could see that other video that I would have mentioned. And then people can just click on there and they can go on to watch that video. Always check for copyright, make sure that there's no issues. Sometimes YouTube will pick up if like music is copyrighted, or even sometimes different images, different footage. And what I recommend is scheduling your video. So it is good to commit to a specific day and time if you can, if possible. I know sometimes like you may not totally stick to that. Some weeks you may be creating way more content. Other weeks it may be a bit more difficult depending on life and stuff. And that's one big misconception with YouTube, is that you have to stick to a specific content schedule or else the algorithm is going to punish you. That's not necessarily true. I've seen YouTubers do really well and they don't stick to a hardcore schedule, but they're putting out valuable content, which is why they're doing so well. And if you want to know a good day and time to post for you, just go over to your YouTube analytics. And if you click on audience, you should get this nice graph here. And this will just tell you when the best day and time is to post. And so for me, based on my audience, the best day and time is Sunday at 7 a.m. So since today is Thursday, as I'm filming this, it'd be wise for me to, schedule it for Sunday versus me posting it now, almost 11 a.m. on Thursday, where you could see most of my audience isn't even on YouTube. So you see how if I post it now, I probably won't do as well versus if I wait till Sunday morning, because I can catch most of my audience as they are active on YouTube. So this is a really good practice. It's just to get into the habit of this. And you could even see when the best times are to live stream. So if you click on live stream, it looks very similar. But if your channel is smaller, then you probably don't have access to that data. And if that's the case, just think of your audience. So for example, if you are helping busy moms, it's probably not wise to choose the time when they're picking up their kids from school. If you are someone who helps video gamers, then it's probably best to post your videos late at night when they're awake, playing video games, probably looking at videos. So yeah, that's the next thing here is you want to schedule your video for the specific day and time that you post. And then we're going to talk about these next things in the next lesson. We're going to talk about actually taking the steps to promote it to your audience. So we'll wait to talk about that. But one thing I like to do once the video is published, it is a good practice to comment on the video, a call to action, and to pin the comment. So what I like to do is, let's say I really talk about my beginner course in this video. I'll just copy this, and when the video is posted, I'll just comment that in the comment section, and there is an option if you click the 3 dots next to it to pin it towards the top. That way, it's just easier for your audience to find. So yeah, that is the uploading module. I hope that this helps you to post your videos with ease and optimum maximization. I know we went through a lot of steps, but you will get to the point where this becomes muscle memory and you'll be able to easily and quickly upload your videos. I hope you found this video valuable. Again, you can access the full course down below, or you can apply for me and my team to take care of this for you. So feel free to apply, and together we will customize your 100K YouTube business blueprint that's unique to you and your situation. Once you're done with that, then I encourage you to check out this next video where I dive into the other steps of creating content for YouTube.